Welcome to the weekly Mesonet Weather Report. Another week in the books and another round of rain statewide, most of it falling on soils that were already saturated. The past week, rainfall totals as of May 8th showed rainfall at every Mesonet site, with several places in the state receiving more than 5 inches. Storms were the heaviest in the west central region, and Eric topped the charts at 6.39 inches. Turning to soil moisture, we see the main part of the state is about as wet as it can get. A fractional water index of 1 means the moisture gauge is at the full mark. At the 4-inch depth, 1s dominate the chart. A small area in far southwest and the western half of the Panhandle are the last holdouts. This past week's limited rain in those areas were not enough to offset moisture loss due to evapotranspiration. The forecast for the week of May 13th shows rain probabilities at either normal or just slightly above normal. But for May, that doesn't necessarily relate to dry conditions. The purple bars on this chart shows the statewide 30-year average rainfall for each month. May is the wettest, reaching close to 5 inches. The blue bars are the amounts received this year. So even a normal week in May could bring us several more inches of rain. Gary is up next with more on spring rainfall totals.
Thanks, Wes, and good morning, everyone. Well, I'm not sure what to say here. Sometimes Mother Nature just leaves me speechless. But I'll try and say something anyway. Let's get right to the drought monitor map, because we do have some changes on there. Believe it or not, there is a part of the state that's not getting enough rainfall. The far western Panhandle, specifically Cimarron County, is now in abnormally dry conditions. I know everybody else across the state is finding that hard to believe, but those folks out there do need rainfall. And I'll show you about what's going on out there on the Mesonet rainfall maps. We're going to look at the spring thus far, so starting in March 1st, which is also the beginning of the growing season, we can see out there in the Panhandle, Boise City, at least through Wednesday, has only had 1.8 inches of rainfall, which is incredible considering the amounts across the rest of the state. Even the eastern Panhandle has had 5 to 6 inches, but we see large areas of the state across west central, through central, and over into eastern Oklahoma, with 13 to 16 inches of rainfall. If we go to the departure from normal map for, again, March 1st through May 8th, we see 4 to 6 inches above normal for most of the state. Now if we go to the percent of normal rainfall map for the spring thus far, we see that deficit out in the western Panhandle actually show up a little bit better, where they have 40 to 60% of normal rainfall for the spring thus far. Now overall though, we see lots of wet, lots of surplus moisture across the state. And in fact, it's the 9th wettest spring thus far, and with a statewide average of 10.75 inches. So nobody in the state needs more rainfall except the western Panhandle. So if Mother Nature could cooperate, we would certainly appreciate it. Get rid of those flood warnings, let things dry out, and let's get some moisture out in the Panhandle for those folks. That's it for this time. We'll see you next time on the Mesonet Weather Report.